Welcome to week 37, and also welcome to the very last unit of this series, which is unit 5. It's going to be a final look at scales. All right, so the first thing we're going to do today is take a look at our usual 16th note warm-up. We're also going to take a look at a new minor scale that we haven't looked at yet today, one of my favorite minor scales, the harmonic minor. And then I'm going to introduce you to a new drill that I like to call the gold standard scales. And we'll be looking at 4 different scales today: C major, C harmonic minor, F major, F harmonic minor. And then I'll give you some practice tips in regards to this. But before we get there, let's head over to the drum and get warmed up. Let's get started on line 1. The metronome will be set at 40 BPM and the clicks will represent the downbeats. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Switch your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, hands together, top line. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. For line 2, we're going to try something a little different today. We'll speed our metronome up to 45 BPM, but instead of putting it on the upbeats, we're going to have each of these clicks represent each of the E's. All right, so it's going to go something like this. 1, 2, 3, E and a, 4, E and a. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Switch hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Top on hands together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. All right. Now, for line 3, we are going to speed up to 50 BPM, although as usual, we'll be putting our metronome on halftime, okay? So the metronome is going to be at 25 BPM, we'll be at 50 BPM, but we are going to stick with the E's today. So now the metronome clicks will represent the first and the third E. All right, let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Top line. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and last but not least for line 4, we'll speed our metronome up to 30 BPM, which means we will be going at 60 BPM. And now the metronome clicks will be the second and the fourth E's. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. Now that we're all warmed up, let's head back to the piano. Let's talk about harmonic minor. It's one of my favorite minor scales, and it contains the flat third and the flat sixth. Now I'd like to note that the 7th is natural. A lot of the minors that we've been playing so far, including the modes, have all contained a flat 7. But the thing that gives the harmonic minor its extra special sound is that natural 7, that leading tone to do. So here it is in big letters for you. We have the flat mi, the flat la, and of course notice how the T and the do are left alone. All right, so we will be looking at harmonic minor scales in conjunction with our final look at major scales in this unit. But now let's go ahead and talk about our gold standard scales. Here is the famous gold standard scale exercise. Now, it's not exactly meant to teach theory in the way that our last unit really had a lot of this scale goes with this chord and this chord has these flats and all of that and modes. This is purely a technical exercise, all right? It's meant to really open up our control of the entire keyboard and not only get us used to going up in parallel, but now we're going to be seeing what we call contrary motion, where our hands are moving independently of each other back and forth, all right? So the gold standard scales is really going to be our last look at these scales and really get the whole keyboard under our control, all right? Now taking a look at what's going on here, we can see that the right hand is simply going up 4 octaves and then back down 4 octaves, whereas the left hand does a little bit more of a zigzag. We have up 2 octaves, back down 2 octaves, up 2 octaves, and back down 2 octaves, right? So we have a couple areas where we are going to have parallel motion. We're going to have a couple areas where we're going to have different types of contrary motion. And then of course we're going to end it with parallel motion again. And you can see all of that is also written out right here. We'll be doing this drill not only with our major scales, but we're also going to be doing this with the harmonic minor scale of each key, okay? Now, when it comes to fingerings, all right, I'm not going to be giving you this written out for every scale because the point is that we need to learn this on the instrument more than we need to just read it off of the page, okay? So I do want to remind you that I have a 1-page scale finger guide, and this is good for all of the keys, and as you can see, there are even the few exceptions where the harmonic minor fingering is different, right here under E flat and B flat, but this is a very useful 1-page guide for many, many finger patterns in your major and your minor keys, all right? And again, this is available on my website, pianodojo.com, but let's go ahead and put our hands on the gold standard scale exercise. The last thing that I want to talk about today are some practice strategies for approaching the gold standard scales. Now, as you might notice when you first attempt contrary motion, it can be a little bit tricky. And so we're going to want to isolate those sections. Instead of trying to play the entire exercise, the whole thing right off the bat, it's a good idea to isolate the contrary motion sections, all right? So the very first contrary motion section you get to is just 1 octave apart. And it's nice if you just stay there for a minute until it feels comfortable. Slow it down, speed it up, whatever you need to do, and then reach it further and do the 2 octave contrary motion back and forth, back and forth. Then you can try all of the octaves in contrary motion, nice and slow, speed it up as you need. But once you are comfortable with breaking up the contrary motion sections, then I would suggest trying the entire exercise, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead now and demonstrate this idea on the piano. If you enjoyed today's lesson, you can support the Piano Dojo by finding these diagrams on my website, pianodojo.com, or you can simply subscribe and share my channel with anybody who's looking for questions about the piano. Until next time, happy practicing.